Hello, today I'm going to review the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Sonic figure. Now this is the 5-inch version. If you remember a few years ago, back when Sonic 2 came out, they also had like movie editions of the figures, and they were like 4 inches tall like the regular figures. And then when the Mario movie came out, they started doing those 5-inch figures. They had a lot more detail to them. They had those really cool eyes that kind of just followed you around. And now they're doing that with the Sonic figures, and I think it's really cool. So that's what this line of figures is like, and I'm going to review the whole set. As you know, I have already reviewed Shadow back a few months ago when I did that video at the beach. I might re-record that video just for the sake of being able to hear me better, since I guess it was a cool idea at the time, recording it at the beach. But looking back, you can barely hear me in it, so I might redo that video. I might not, though. We'll just see. But anyway, I'm going to review the Sonic one today, so let's go ahead and open him up. Actually, first we'll look at the box. You can see they kind of just reuse all the old Sonic renders, nothing really new. There was a price tag there, that got tore off though, but you can see where they even used the shadow eyeballs from the second movie. So they really didn't even do any new renders for the boxes, which is kind of funny. Makes me think that for a second that they weren't ready when they released the movie to show off all the characters, but as you know now, the movie's out. Everything was perfect about it, in my opinion, for the most part. So I wonder why they didn't use new renders on the box. That's not really an issue, though. I just found it kind of funny how that worked out. And on the other side of the box, it says, Sonic is on a roll. Saved the world twice, but who's counting? And has 2 besties for his team, but will they be enough to handle a devastating new threat? And that's the description that they give Sonic. It says he has 22 points of articulation, so a lot more than all the other figures. And that's really all there is to the box. So let's just go ahead and open them up. And I could possibly need scissors if he has the little rubber bands. I don't think he does though, so we should be able to just open them like this. I know normally I don't do an unboxing, but I thought with these I might as well. So sometimes I keep boxes, sometimes I don't, but in this case the box is kind of already damaged anyway. So Sonic figures are always really hard to get out because the wheel's in the back. I'm trying to find a good order to do this in. I'm gonna get my hand out next. There we go. Just gonna kind of work my way down until I get to his head. Oof. That one has more weight to it. Okay, well there he is out of the box. And I don't know if it's just me, but he seems to be a lighter shade of blue than the other Sonic, which is not a complaint. I like him being more vibrant. It's like slight. I don't know if that's intentional or what, but he's still very different from the other figure. Not just the articulation, but the eyes, and he actually has little quill details in there now too. Kind of like the, well, I'll show you here in a minute, the big figure, this is going to be a really cool comparison when I show it to you. But they think that this figure sculpt is so good that they kind of made it into a huge action figure as well. The big talking one that you probably know of by now. But I'll show that here in a minute. So right off the bat, you can see he has a lot more articulation than the other ones. He even has, let me get the camera to focus in. I'm trying to record videos in 4K now so you can see more. But you can see his shoulder articulation, like butterfly joints, kind of like those Star Wars figures have on a lot of figures. And then there's up and down shoulder articulation. So we pretty much got 2 ball joints in there. That is so cool. Elbow joints, wrist joints, and he even has finger joints now. So you can actually put things in his hands. I think giving action figures finger joints is such a good idea because you can actually make them hold stuff, you know. And I will definitely be putting things in his hands. And another thing that I like about having finger joints is that you don't have to like cram things in there if you're trying to get them to hold something and worry that you're breaking the plastic. When you can just open the hinge and close the hinge, that just works so great. And I don't know how well the camera shows it here, but you can see how pretty the eyes are on this one, like the reflections and stuff. Really looks like this. I will say this looks exactly like the movie Sonic model that we see in the movie, I think, for the most part at least. I mean, obviously it's an action figure, but like all the accuracy is there. He's just an amazing figure, I think. Definitely a big improvement from the last one. I don't really know how they can get any better than this. Even the joints quality, I will say, is way better than the old ones. Like as I used to say about the old ones. Honestly, I don't know. Did I put a review of the ones in 2022 or did I start this channel yet? Well, anyway, the joints on those were kind of stiff and felt like they were breaking the more you mess with them. But now these just feel like really high quality joints. Like I'm not worried to mess around with them. And in terms of other details on him, he even has all the fur print and stuff. Get the camera to focus. I need to stop moving him in and out. You can see all the fur going down him. He even has like the quills in the back. That just looks really cool. And he has all the detail in the shoes, has all the texture to the socks, even like, hang on, let me get it to show that a little bit more. Fabric-y details to the shoes. Like, this is a high quality figure. And knowing this goes for like $12 to $15, that's like a steal for this. Definitely a really good high quality figure, I think. And the printing this time around, I think, is really good too. Like a lot of times when they try to print a light color onto like a dark blue or something, it doesn't look right, or it ends up not matching this. But yeah, the printing this time looks really good, I think. I don't really have any complaints about this figure at all. And I'm going to try to put him in some cool poses now just to see what I can do with him. I should probably go into the joints a little bit more though. There is a joint here, like he has a hip joint now, so you can actually do a little bit there. You can get a little bit of movement out of that. It's kind of cool. A lot of movement in the head. Can't really go up and down because his head, you know, is such an odd shape, but you can get a lot of side to side, so that's good. As I said, everything in the hands. He's got some really good knee joints in here. These look a lot more sturdy than the other ones. And some like hip swivels right here, or actually I guess it's not there, but you know what I mean. And he has, I think, 2 joints in his leg. I mean, not his leg, but his ankle, because he got one there, and I think there's one in there too. So you can get all kinds of cool poses out of that. So I'm gonna see how good he stands. So I'm gonna try to put him in a cool running pose. And normally I turn off the camera for this, but I'm gonna try to do this in one shot. Get him doing his iconic run. I kind of shift some weight to this side. I know I can get him to do it. Gonna move that foot this way. Well, they take a little bit more tampering around with, but that seems to be a good pose you could get him into. If I messed around with him a little bit more, I think I could get him to stand up. I'll try to give him more cool poses when I put him onto my shelf. But yeah, definitely very poseable. So overall on this figure, I think that he is a perfect Sonic figure. And the cool comparison that I was going to show you, let me get it out. Okay, here's this one. Oh, this one's huge. I don't even know how I'm going to fit it on the camera. Okay, get the big Sonic. And I'm just going to stand up little Sonic. He wasn't that little until this one showed up. I'm just gonna sit him right here. Okay, I'm just gonna show a comparison. Okay, hear me out. I think that these 2 figures pretty much use the exact same mold and design. Like, aside from some of the joints and stuff, they knew how good of a figure this was, and they kind of just adapted it into that big figure. Like, especially like when you look at how they did the eyes and the face and like the overall mold and everything, the fur pattern, they pretty much just made that into a big figure and it worked. So that just shows how good of a figure this little one is right here. I'll be doing a review of the big one right here later, but right now we're focusing on this one. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you on that. That's pretty much everything there is to talk about him though. As I said, very good figure. And I know I changed this opinion around a lot. This is a really good Sonic figure. My favorite, I think, has to go to that Modern Sonic Collector's Edition figure. Although, looking at this one now, they could have made some improvements to that. I imagine if they decide to do a movie Sonic version of a figure like that, I'd go crazy. But yeah, this is a great figure right here. And thank you for watching, and goodbye.